straight organic.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And my name is Slade Matheson, age 43, from Brunswick, Carriacou.
Tell us a little bit about what actually brought you into farming. How did you become a farmer?
I was born a farmer basically because from I was a youth, that love was in me, but I wasn't much into the crop farming because it was just little kitchen garden around, growing up with the family and helping with the garden and thing. But at the age of 16, 17, going into manhood after leaving college, by the age of 19, the level of consciousness start rising, which is normal around in manhood for boys and things. So I start thinking more conscious and think about eating more healthy. It was because that was always a part of me. It was, so that was one of the main things that really drive me to have healthy food to eat for myself first. That was the main thing that get me into it for me, and as I get into it, the joy does increase. It was something like just a part of me, so I just gravitate to it. It was brother without that. Like I was tagged to it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us, what did you grow on your farm here at first, and how did you evolve in the sector?
At first, when I started farming, I was like on my own then. I wasn't even living with my family. It was my original farm and all them things like that. I was on my own, seeking righteousness still same way within them age day. So the first place where I started doing farming on a level was, I used to spend some time in Bossejou. Yeah, but area in Bossejou, I used to do some farming before. That is the first area I started to really do something, and an area in Brunswick by Frankie, Matheson. That where we started, me and Ikai, which is Nicky, Joseph, and Shane Thompson, with man and them. That we started together, and then Don Kwashi, me and him used to do a portion in Prospect area. The first crop we started to, used to do a lot of melon and things, them time they bought and squash and all them things, them time they did carrots. That was one of my first crop. Yeah, on that piece of land. Yeah.
And what type of crops do you actually do now?
No. Well, I do almost any crop you could think about them, but my main crop what I really do now is like watermelon. Is one of my main crop. But my present crop right now that I'm focusing heavy on is ground food, sweet potato, and groundnut, cassava, yeah, ginger, saffron, that kind of thing, and vegetables along with that.
Okay.
The other food going to grow in there, but not, that would be one of my main focus, even the sweet potato. Yeah.
Okay. And of all the crops that you just mentioned, which one of them are your main crop that you farm?
Right, presently.
Yeah.
Watermelon, presently, and corn. Yeah.
And what do you enjoy most about like being a farmer?
Producing good food, quality food, naturally grown organic food, and be myself, because that is where I find myself as a man then. That is where the light shine for me, and that is where I find myself and who I supposed to be. That is where all my knowledge that I possess is come for me. Once I start farming, my knowledge just start to increase naturally. It was because I spend a lot of time with myself within the plants and the animals and all this thing and the environment, and a lot of natural energy with my knowledge. A lot of things come to me naturally.
All right. And describe your day as a farmer. What are some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis to ensure that your crops are healthy?
As a farmer, you have to pay attention to your crop every day. The first thing I really do sometimes when I get up and I go in the garden and looking at it, I cover the entire entire area of the farm. It was. And see what's strange to my eyes. It was, and after that now, if the plants need water, I make sure they get water. If they need pen manure, I'm making sure they get pen manure. If they need cleaning, I'm making sure they get cleaning. And you have to add that extra love and time with it. That is a daily basis as a farmer. I don't have a special schedule because now you are going. Sometimes I might go whole day today, and tomorrow I decide to work from 10 to 12. Or tomorrow I might go hard tomorrow again. Or sometimes I go hard for the whole week. I have no particular schedule when it comes to farming, my brother. Because sometimes I would just sit down and relax for the day. And when like 4 o'clock come, 5 o'clock come, I say I wasn't doing nothing for the day. Something come for me to deal with, and I'm gonna deal with that one time, because that is the energy that meets me, and that is how I just deal with it here. That is where I just spend most of my time. Yeah.
Tell us about some of the challenges that you face as a farmer.
The biggest challenge as a farmer in Carriacou right now is animal destruction. Damn me, brother. I tell you that want to be not even water in the dry season. Yeah, because you go plant a fruit tree this year, and if we get a terrible dry season, animal go just send that back to 0. And you have to do the same thing over again next year, and over. So stray animals are one of the biggest problems. I overcome that to a level, because you see the previous location I was with, that was one of my biggest challenge. And when I relocate to this year, because this area that I'm doing here, I just started farming. This is a new grounds. Just about 3 years I just started working here. This was an entire forest. Yeah, and this year is the first year I really get it up to that level that you're seeing it here now, that I could be able to do something properly on it. And you know, watermelon and potato and them kind of thing, that is one of the best crops I see fit for it down here. Even vegetables. Yes.
How has the journey been thus far?
A great experience, man. Yeah, man. These 3 years is one of the sweetest years in my process as farming. I made a lot of, but it mightn't be financially one up to a level, because the things that you learn along the process there, you know, within certain time, it could be beneficial to you in a big way.
If I'm looking to purchase some of your crops, where can I find them?
I'm the main man here to contact, because I do most of the marketing of my goods. Yeah, when I have them in real big stuff like watermelon and thing, I sell to vendors and all this thing, and I sell to Alexis supermarket. I sell to most of the vendors, whoever, when I have food in large quantity, because that is how I do it. I do a large portion so I could sell to vendors and whosoever want it. Yeah, so because me is personal, you want my food, you have to come directly to me. You get the best deal, you get the best back, everything.
As a farmer on the sister house, how has your life changed with COVID-19?
Yeah, man, in a big way. Positive though. Because I don't see the vision within the earth already that certain mystical movements go take place, and I was living a life in a way to adjust myself for whenever that time meet. This is a time of opportunities for everyone. We need to be self-reliant. If we're not now, we need to be, because within the next 5 to 10 years, we don't know what the situation could be.
What are any particular techniques that you normally use in your farming to ensure that your crops actually come and they be of the best quality? What are your farming techniques that you normally use?
There are certain principles of farming which within everything you venture, you have principles. And never may I want to tell you them now. You learn the principles of farming. If you go in school, they teach you principle of business, they teach you principle of this, you have principle of everything that you venture in. You learn the principle of farming, which is you have to maintain space, you have to preserve the soil, and this kind of thing. So one of the main things that I use compost to natural compost, mulching, yeah. And I keep tilling the soil too much. What area I need to work with, I work with that area. So like if I need to plant I know coming up in 10 days, I want to plant some corn. And I area bushy. I only go in and clear in that area in that time when I know it needed just in time to prepare the area, because I'm looking to preserve the moisture there inside it. It was and this kind of thing. So you have to preserve. Soil preservation is one of the key things that I concentrate on here by mulching.
What advice would you give to any young person, you know, interested in becoming a farmer? What sort of advice would you give to them?
That's one of the best things you could ever do. You know, it don't matter what other career you choose, you should actually play a part in your food production, and move from that level into commercial production, because that's the most important thing. Food, clothing and shelter, and you also know that that's the basic needs right now. And once you could play a part in feeding a nation, you become a role model for even the youths coming, and you're providing health for your nation and also for your own self, because farming is something that now that regenerates the man itself. Sometimes when you last, and or even you break down, or even you're in your system right, you could find yourself within the hot air. When you spend time and do what you have to do, because every man needs that time there. So if that is farming and you have a joy for it, go to it with the greatest passion you have, just like any other thing.
Okay. And what are your goals for the next 5 to 10 years in the agriculture sector? How do you see yourself then? And are there any particular crops that you want to venture into?
The crops I want, as I said earlier, the crops I want to focus on heavy. I will still continue doing melon, heavy and everything, but you see watermelon, the area where I located, I could afford to do melon in a little off-season where it could be more profitable to me. So I will be going into crop like beer, like in the sweet potatoes and the groundnut, the cassava and this kind of food, and I will also be focusing on some vegetables, lettuce, celery and this kind of things, carrots and cabbage. So you have a rotation of crops with what I mentioned from over the 5 to 10 year period. Because the type of farming I'm dealing here with now, you see the sandy soil I have, and I don't even really need plowing much here. All I need here is to keep adding compost, keep adding manure, because my moisture there, and preserve that moisture. Because now, once you preserve that moisture, you know that is one of the most important things you need.